I love doing paper origami with my students. My 5th graders always do a flying crane. The class can sometimes be a little bit frustrating, but most of the time they do a stellar job. We start out with computer paper. I don't really have my budget for origami paper. This works fine. Cut it into a square. I give the kids 3 minutes to decorate one side with markers. When we're done with that, it is time to start folding. We will pick up one corner and take it to the opposite corner. Line it up, slide out, crease it. It needs to be creased really, 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 really well to get one of our next folds to work. We're going to take the opposite corner, so the sides that have the folds in them, we're going to match those together. Crease that really, really well together. At this point, I ask students to open them up and look for a large X. If there's no X, they haven't gotten all the folds. Next, we flip over our paper to see the white side. We take this edge and fold it across like hot dog or hamburger. Again, crease really, 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 really well. Open it. Do the top to the bottom. Crease it really, really well. Open it up. Students should have a star pattern on their paper, or like a snowflake. They should have the X and then a plus sign. If they have all of those folds, we're good to go. If they don't have those folds, we got to get them in, or the next part's not going to work. What we're going to do is, I show kids a couple different ways to do this because all their brains work different. I'm going to take one of the horizontal lines here, corner to corner, not next to each other, corner to corner. I'm going to put those two corners together. Then I'm going to put those two corners on the table and then flatten down the top. This is a movement that my 2nd graders do when we make origami jumping frogs. Most of them recognize it. A lot of the paper wants to fold anyway, so a lot of kids, while they're waiting for the next instruction, do it anyway. I look at it like the fortune teller cootie catchers kids make. Same idea. If they're still having trouble, if you just gather all of the corners very loosely together, it'll get there. Make sure there are 2 layers on each side, flatten it down. Next, I have the kids find the open part, and we face the open part away from them. So like it's eating the person sitting across from them. Always gets some laughs. Then what we're going to do is we're going to channel their paper airplane skills, which almost all of them have. We are going to line up this edge right here with the middle. So we pick up the corner, pull it towards the middle, and then down. A lot of kids do this step upside down. A lot of them want to do it this way. That is incorrect. The step next will not work. So get both sides. Make sure they don't overfold it. That won't work. Then if they have that, flip it over. Do it on the back side. Get it creased. Then we talk about this as either a kite or a sailboat or even an ice cream cone. The kids seem to relate really well to the ice cream cone. I'm going to take the top of the ice cream cone where the ice cream is, and we're going to fold the ice cream over the cone. Grease it down really, really well. Unfold it, flip over, fold it back across, lift it up. This next step is my favorite part about this. It's very magical. It kind of happens, I don't know how to explain it. It just kind of happens. You don't really understand why until you're halfway through it, which is what I tell kids. I have them watch and then explain to them that they won't really understand until they get halfway through. So give it a try. We're going to open up our ice cream cone here at the bottom. We're going to lift up this top layer and we're going to pull it straight up. Okay? The paper has to hinge on that fold we just made. See how it's hinging right there? We need that. We're going to lift it up. When it doesn't really want to go any further, we're going to take these edges and push them towards the middle, and very slowly it's going to lay itself down. Sometimes you have to help the corners out a little bit so we get this long diamond shape. Flip it over, do the same thing on the back. Open up the ice cream cone, pull up the bottom part, open it up. A lot of kids will shove their hand all the way in here and pop that hinge, and then are frustrated because it won't go. Got to have that hinge. Open it up. Lay down the edges. Crease it down. and you have this very long diamond shape. The next step is really easy, but the kids struggle with it a lot, I think because they just did something hard and they expect the next step to be difficult too. What we're going to do is we're going to stick our hands in between the layers. So on each side, they've got these layers in here. So I'm going to stick my fingers in them between the layers on both sides. And I'm going to put the first 2 layers together, hold on to it, and then put the bottom 2 layers together. I tell the kids they should get this magical triangle. There's nothing magical about it other than the fact that it shows me they've done the step correctly. These are going to be our heads and our tails. We're going to fold up one wing on one side, flip it over, fold up our wing on this side. Now it's time to pull out our head and our tail. I'm going to hold one half of my triangle, reach in between my other ones, pull this part out. When I get it out to about there-ish, I'm going to crease this part down. Some kids really struggle with this because they have a hard time pushing down this bulge that happens. They can pull it out, squish it down. I tell them they should get a crown or a W-like shape. Now comes the point where we have to figure out which side is the head and which side is the tail. I tell students to hang on to this bump right here. There's like a little crease. Hang on to that. With their other hand, they're going to gently roll out their wings. Not to fold them. Don't fold them. Gently roll them out. What this does is it helps loosen up this joint right here, which is what we need for them to fly. Hang on to it, and then gently I'm going to pull its tail. Okay, we don't pump it like we're looking for water or oil. Pull it straight back. If nothing happens, like this side, nothing moves, don't keep pulling. If students rip these bottom edges, theirs won't fly. Okay? If like this side does not move well, then I switch to the other side. If neither side will move, repeat the process. Roll out the wings again. Try it again. If it still doesn't work, try the other side. Mine works this way. So I know that this is my head. I'm just going to invert this edge right here. So I have a head. I always tell kids to hold on to this part, not onto its head. Right on this crease. Pull. The way these fly is that when you pull its tail, it pulls the bottom of this paper, which pulls the paper on the wings and makes them bend.